Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, colleagues. If we can just have our seats quickly. Can I request everybody to please stand? Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kathy Klute, and I'm from the Marketing and Communications Department at CPUT. I will be your program director today, so without further ado, I would like to call on our Vice Chancellor to formally welcome you here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Ms. Cassie Klute, ladies and gentlemen. I want to acknowledge members of the executive here present, the deans of all our faculties, in particular, the Dean of Faculty of Business and Management Sciences, assistant deans of the faculty, postgraduate students under the supervision of Professor Duffett, respondents, families and friends of our esteemed Professor, Rodney Duffett, your wonderful wife, I've seen her here, medical doctor, I'm told, so we are in safe hands. I must also acknowledge in our midst some of our retired colleagues, and I was asking myself,
but I must say that that is not the intention. Colleagues, despite the circumstances, we decided as an institution we were not going to postpone this event. This event is very important in our calendar. Even if we're having half the number of us, we were going to proceed, because that's very important in the calendar of the institution. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I must say that at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, the Professorial Inaugural Lecture is a significant academic tradition that celebrates the achievements of newly appointed full professors and serve as a formal introduction to the university community, to the community of scholars, to the collaborative network of academics, and of course being a full member of Senate. That's why according to our statutes, you've got professors, full professors being members of Senate. And when you talk about the stewardship of Senate, it rests fully on the full professors. It's not about democratic representation. It's about an academic project. It's about the knowledge project. And people who can assist us there are the professors. Because these are people who are assisting us in making sure that the academic project is alive and well. I always say to people that sometimes this body is used as a rubber stamp, but it is not. If they are not agreeing with certain things, even academic appointments, they must actually say so that the council can be aware that there is no concurrency. If there is no concurrency on academic matters, nothing will move, because that power is vested in Senate. The primary purpose is to present scholarly work to colleagues, students, and the broader university community by fostering and engaging in discussion on contemporary issues, interdisciplinary dialogue, and collaboration among faculty members, and reinforcing, as a consequence, CPUT's dedication to a vibrant academic environment where knowledge and excellence are shared and celebrated. The Professorial Inaugural Lecture is cherished as a tradition at CPUT, and of course, it's actually reflective of our ethos, academic rigor, community engagement, and pursuit of knowledge. Now, let me tell you a story. I've known Professor Duffett for quite some time. When I was at DVC Research, I started as a DVC Research at this institution. And I can tell you stories about the nucleus in faculties. And I was told, no, he's coming from Pentec. I know who were coming from Pentec and those who were coming from K-Tech. Because when I started here, we were fresh from the beta. So sometimes when you listen carefully, you can tell, oh, this one's coming from this side. This one's coming from this side. You can tell. Luckily, we are on the other side now. And I remember that he got his PhD or DTech in 2015. But what he has achieved in 10 years is unbelievable. I was talking to him, I said, I was watching some of his YouTube videos, how easy he was relating to a Chinese MBA student about a number of issues. The student was interviewing him, I think it should be around 2014. And I was actually saying to myself, we got a gem here. Because supervision is very important. You may be a professor, but you should be able to build a new cadre of researchers. And I was also greeted by one of the students. He said, no, I'm a first year doctoral student under the supervision of Professor. And I know a number of staff members also benefited from Professor, because we were not having adequate people with PhD to supervise. And normally when you talk about retail and marketing, I can tell you a story. Peter State Camp will come in, Norbert's name will come in, and Dakora, when he was here, Edward Dakora's name will actually come in. And of course, young Bushe Zwagala was also coming in. It's really a community. So there's something special in marketing that is taking place. And I heard from Dr. Van Gelsen saying marketing is beautiful. And in a meeting you said, unprovoked, marketing is so good that it should not be left to marketing department alone. So where we are now, we are marketers, we are marketing this institution. But I followed this digital marketing and social media marketing. And last year during the VC's breakfast, I was presented with a book. And I can tell you, I looked at the contributors in the book, and I said, there is something here. Maybe Professor Sheldon, the chair, will not actually be a bad idea, because the area is fine. Professor Duffett is C2 researcher, NRF C2 researcher. That means he's an established researcher. Actually, the two is normally the level of viewers' consensus. That majority of viewers agree that he's enjoying an international recognition. He is recognized as an expert in his area. In these 10 years, got the tech, you got the rating, associate professor, full professor. That tells a story. And many publications in social media marketing and the digital interactive media. I'm not sure about the generation Y, but maybe I'm going to hear more, because when I was looking at your body of knowledge, there was also a story around the generation Y. And I'm going to hear more about that. I've talked about the book as well as book chapters. In conclusion, Program Director, this university is growing fast to be the MIT of Africa. We are working hard to build a citadel. I was talking to my son, and he was saying, when you visit us here in Belgium, at the border between France and Belgium, I want to take you to the citadel in Namur. He said this was Napoleon's fortress. It's actually one of the best, and still kept more or less the same condition. We are building this fortress at CPUT. It's not going to be easy. There are challenges, serious challenges. Some of them, you are seeing them in the media about lawlessness and anarchy. But I can tell you one thing, we are firm on ensuring that we are going to remain a rule-bound organization. The rule of law must prevail in security. We cannot allow a situation where anarchy prevails. When we enter any of our campuses, we must be sure that we abide by the rules and regulations of the institution, from the Vice Chancellor to the person at the gate. That's how we should be. But we also know that it's not easy. But let me say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that tough time never lasts, but resilient people and resilient organizations built to last, they do. Will not do things for experience. Will do what is right. Society has entrusted us, you, me, the student, with this majestic institution. And it's our duty to ensure that the future generation inherit an institution that is even better than we found it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this inaugural lecture. I wanted to say, sit back and enjoy the presentation. As I conclude, we always say here at the institution, inkosi kakhulu mawethu. Siyabulele. Akube kuhle. Kube mandi. Kube mhlophe. Inkosi mawethu. I can see somebody is not happy. I can say, VC, you have experience. So I was just about to leave, but I felt that I must also say, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your stay, enjoy this presentation from Professor Duffett. But we don't end there. We also say, for completeness, baie dankie dames en here. Baie dankie vir hierdie ongelooflike geleentheid om enkele gedagtes met u te was. Dit is vir ons 'n groot voorreg. Ons weet, dames en here, dat ons leef in 'n snel veranderende dag in Suid-Afrika, waarin verandering die enigste konstant geword het. So, let's stay strong and build this institution. I thank you.
Thank you for the warm words of welcome. It's really appreciated, and also sets a very positive tone on what lies ahead for today. So thank you so much, Vice Chancellor. Next up, I'm going to call Professor Makita. She is the Dean of the Faculty of Business and Management Sciences, and she will do the citation of Professor Duffett, whereafter Professor Duffett will come to the podium and do his presentation. VC, I can say before I sit down that we do have quite a full house with everybody who RSVP'd, and then we also have, I think, 25 people online now, so welcome to the people online as well. Thank you, Prof. Makita.
Citation for Professor Rodney Duffett goes as follows. Rodney Duffett graduated with a Doctor in Technology and Marketing degree in 2016 at the Chancellor University of Technology. His research investigated the application of traditional hierarchy of effects model to social media at a time of rapid digital adoption, when social media sites were significantly altering marketing communication behavior among young South Africans. His research on social media as a marketing communication tool among Generation Y in South Africa provided empirical insight about how young South African awareness, knowledge, liking, preference, purchase intention, and purchase sentiment declined in a typical hierarchical sequence, which confirmed the classical advertising theory while showing new patterns in interactive digital environments. Further research considered other social media platforms and different cohorts, such as Generation Z, which produced analogous results. This research established one of the first comprehensive frameworks for understanding attitudinal responses to social media marketing communication among South African consumers, and continues to inform research within the field, which is evident in the growing number of citations. A social media marketing communication article, which was published in 2017, received over 1,000 citations, whereas a Facebook advertising article published in 2015 received over 800 citations. And a YouTube marketing communication article, which he published in 2020, received just over 230 citations to date. After completing matric in 1990, Prof. Duffett completed the National Diploma at the then Cape Technicon between 1991 and 1993, a BCom at UNISA between 1994 and 1997. He completed an honors degree, which he completed between 1998 and 2000 again at UNISA, while employed as a lecturer at the Boston Business School, which is the Boston City campus between 1997 and 2000, while also working as a part-time lecturer at the then Cape Technicon between 1998 and 2000. Prof. Duffett received a contract position at the Peninsula Technicon in 2000, which was made permanent in 2002. He graduated with the Magister Technology Marketing degree at CPUT in 2010, which explored Black economic empowerment in the advertising industry in Cape Town. Prof. Duffett is involved in various capacities in all qualifications at diploma level, advanced diploma, postgraduate diploma, master's and doctorate in the marketing department, and has taught an array of subjects. However, his passion remains with advertising and integrated marketing communication and related subjects. He established numerous relationships with key players in the marketing communication industry, resulting in many industry and community-related projects that not only provided the students with real work experience and the practical application of what was learned in the classroom, but also prizes, internships, bursaries, and many permanent jobs. For example, his partnership with Beeline Advertising Agency, that is an industry project, resulted in 66,000 Rand in prize money, 100,000 Rand in bursaries, 6 internships, and 4 permanent positions over a 7-year period. He established another lucrative partnership with Edward Snell, which produced 200,000 Rand in bursaries, 13 internships, and 4 permanent positions over a 15-year period. His partnership with Brent Shepherd Community Service Learning Project assisted over 700 businesses. These are SMEs located in student communities with marketing communication advice, proposal worth an estimated 3.5 million Rand and contributed approximately 7 million Rand to GDP over a 13-year period. Prof. Duffett's innovative teaching pedagogies and assessment methodology were awarded when he won the Business Faculty Distinguished Teacher Award in 2008, the Business Faculty Departmental Community Engagement Non-Funded Award in 2012, the Faculty of Business Management Sciences Teaching Excellence Award in 2014, the CPUT Teaching Excellence Award in 2015, and the FBMS Teaching Excellence Award in 2023. He was also a participant in the HELTESA National Excellence in Teaching and Learning Awards in 2016 and the National University Teaching Award in 2024. Under his supervision, Prof. Duffett's undergraduate students are required to complete a research project and produce high-caliber research. This is evidenced by the number of awards that they won at the FBMS Emerging Researcher Conferences, BTEC Group First Prize Awards for Full Research Project in 2018, Advanced Diploma Group First Prize for Full Research Project 2023, Advanced Diploma Individual First Prize for Full Research Project in 2024, Postgraduate Diploma Individual First Prize for Research Proposal in 2024, and Advanced Diploma Group First Prize for Full Research Project in 2025. Prof. Duffett has also made meaningful contribution to CPUT and the broader community. He is a Sisonke Supervision Mentorship Program mentor and a regular presenter. Initiated in 2022, the program aims to address the growing demand for master's and doctoral supervision capacity, particularly in developing countries and universities of technology. The program employs a unique approach in which a team of experienced supervisors mentors a cohort of novice supervisor mentees at CPUT. Prof. Duffett has not only increased his involvement in mentoring, instructing, and supporting postgraduate students and colleagues at faculty and institutional levels, but also in other local and international universities, mainly relating to research and postgraduate-related aspects. Every year, he conducts several research-related workshops, video records them, and uploads them to YouTube. To benefit a broader national and international audience, he also made the workshop-affiliated papers available on ResearchGate. Consequently, the videos and papers have been viewed by thousands of people around the world who frequently contact him for assistance on various aspects of their research. Prof. Duffett initiated a postgraduate group that uses a team-based supervision approach. This group convenes on Saturdays, providing much-needed support for postgraduate students, prospective students, lecturers from the department, CPUT, faculties, and other interested parties. The group enables him to provide feedback to students, share and teach, and mentor colleagues, as well as serve as a support group for the attendees. Prof. Duffett was one of the founding members of the Brand and Digital Research Hub, which is in line with CPUT's 2030 strategic imperatives to build one smart CPUT. The Brand and Digital Research Hub was established to initiate and consolidate research projects in conventional strategic brand management with digital marketing. Since its inception, the Brand and Digital Research Hub has published 44 peer-reviewed academic articles in accredited journals, graduated 17 postgraduate students, 4 doctorates, and 13 masters, of whom 4 were summa cum laude and 3 cum laude. Presented 22 conference papers, published papers in 3 conference proceedings, published 12 book chapters and 2 books, produced 1 NRF-rated researcher to date. Prof. Duffett has supervised 13 master students to completion, over half graduated cum laude or summa cum laude, and was involved in the supervision of another 4 master's graduates by conducting their quantitative statistical analysis, as well as serving as an academic mentor for another master's graduate. The FBMS Emerging Researcher Conference was also expanded to include master's and doctoral's presentation, where his master's students have also won several awards. Master's for First Prize for Full Research Project in 2024, Master's First and Second Prizes for Full Research Project in 2025. He has also supervised 4 doctoral students to completion and was involved in the supervision of another doctoral graduate, who's a colleague, by conducting their quantitative statistical analysis, as well as serving as an international PhD guidance committee member for a Romanian doctoral graduate. He is currently supervising 6 master's students and 8 doctoral students. He examined 31 master's and 12 PhD studies. Prof. Duffett's research interests have expanded to collaborations with Romania and India, and more extensive supervision to include research on a host of other digital platforms, including YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, mobile marketing, Google shopping ads and emojis among young consumers, as well as social media usage by various non-profit organizations and businesses. New research undertaken by his master's and doctoral students considers various aspects of artificial intelligence marketing, which includes artificial intelligence recommendation system, generative search tools, chatbots, and virtual assistants, and virtual influencers, which positions him as the key contributor to this new form of marketing in South Africa. Prof. Duffett has served as a reviewer of over 100 local and international journals and conducted more than 440 peer reviews. He also served as an article editor and editorial board member for Sage Open, and is an editorial board member of the newly formed Journal of Social Media. He participated in numerous faculty and institutional committees and contributed to some professional marketing-related bodies. He has conducted several NRF research rating reviews and served as a director on the board of Open Grow, a social enterprise with the aim to help small businesses grow and create jobs. Prof. Duffett has produced an extensive and influential publication record, especially over the past decade, which includes 55 DHET accredited journal articles, with the majority of these outputs in Q1 and Q2 publications. He was involved in the presentation of 39 papers or posters at local and international conference proceedings and peer-reviewed publications, and delivered 1 keynote address. He has written 1 editorial, 2 technical reports, 10 book chapters, and 2 textbooks. Prof. Duffett was also recently an editor of a book entitled Marketing Management Integrated Perspectives in 2025, and the author of one of the chapters entitled Digital Marketing Fundamentals. Prof. Duffett's research prowess was duly rewarded by a number of awards: the Business Faculty Emerging Researcher Award in 2010, the CPUT Silver Research Publication in 2015, the CPUT Bronze Research Award for Publication in 2018, the FBMS Researcher of the Year Award in 2021, the FBMS Research Department of the Year in 2021, that is the Department of Marketing where he's employed, the FBMS Researcher of the FBMS Researcher of the Year 2023, the FBMS Supervisor of the Year Award in 2023, the CPUT Silver Research Award publications for 2024, and the FBMS Research Department of the Year Award in 2024 on behalf of the Department of Marketing Management. He also received 2 Emerald Literary Award for highly commended papers in 2015 and 2018, as well as one of the Outstanding Reviewer in 2022. Prof. Duffett's research outputs are widely cited, both locally and internationally, with 3,680 citations, an H index of 24, and an I-10 index of 39, which reflects the wide reach and relevance of his research. Accordingly, Prof. Duffett was ranked in the top 10 researcher, that is number 6 in South Africa, in the business and management marketing category, according to the AD Scientific Index. He received a C2 NRF rating in 2024. Congratulations, Prof.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so great to see friends and family and colleagues and past colleagues and current students and past students. It's, yeah, so great to be here to, yeah, just to celebrate this event. And thank you so much for everyone for coming, but I will come to some acknowledgements shortly. Just to say, yeah, we're not at the Belleville campus. I didn't change that. But that's okay. I'm just so happy that this event is happening in any event. I also had some fun with this cover page. As you can see, you'll receive a booklet after the event with this keynote address. And so I took that very same photo. I actually had to have a professional photo shoot, which Kathy organized. And I put that photo in something called Image to Cartoon. And it literally gives you 80 categories such as Disney or claymation or pixels or Bart Simpson or Lego, and if you put your photo in there, then it converts it. So it was just some fun in this digital era. Also, one of my colleagues, Antondili, was telling me, well, you can put your pitch into ChatGPT and you can ask for a caricature where it also converts you, because I'm seeing a lot of people are using these pictures as their, you know, their little tag in emails and meetings. So that was just some fun. Yeah, so the topic that I'm going to be speaking to you on today is navigating the digital marketing landscape, or basically just digital marketing 101. I didn't want to make it overly complex because not everyone in the room are academics, but at the same time I will also integrate the research that I did in these areas in the presentation. So where it all began was really when I was a lecturer at Pentech in the early 2000s. I noticed a lot of my students were always on their cell phones. And basically the two major platforms then was BBM, BlackBerry Messenger, and the other one some of you might remember is Mixit. And they were busy, and I thought, this is interesting. Obviously they communicate in a different way. The class is not noisy because they're all glued to their cell phones. So I thought, well, you know, if this is how they're communicating, how are businesses communicating with them in this new digital era? And that would make definitely an interesting research topic. So let's move on. Just get this. Sorry, I'm just going to duplicate my screen here. There we go. And there we go. So also, sorry, for those of you sitting right at the back, the text may be a bit small. I went and tested and put my glasses on and stood at the back, and I think maybe if you don't have great eyesight, the bottom two, the end two rows may have a bit of struggle seeing this, but I use something called Notebook LM, and I generated my PowerPoint slides, and you put it in this AI tool, and it generates these infographics, which are really, you know, really look good, and while I'm talking gives you something to explore on the screen. So I thought, like, I don't know if Prof Geertz is here, I don't think he is, but I went to his inaugural professorial lecture, I think it was on the 13th, just to get an idea of what he did and how the whole process ran. And he did the acknowledgments early. He had actual nice photos and that, which I didn't have, but I thought, let me do the acknowledgments right at the beginning. So yeah, firstly, I would definitely like to thank CPUT, VC, DVC, executive management. Thank you, you know, so much for the last, you know, I started at Pentech in 98, so you know, as a part-time lecturer, so I've been here quite some time and seen quite a bit, but yeah, CPUT is the place for me. It's the right university for me. Other universities will not be able to convince me to leave. It just seems like a good match. We've had people literally come and go and come back again, so there must be something. I've seen it happen many times. The grass is not always greener on the other side, in my opinion. Then I would also definitely like to thank all of my colleagues in the marketing department. We truly are the best department. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. And also my faculty are really, you know, I'm in the right faculty as well. So, and then also I would like to thank all of my students, both past and present, undergraduate, postgraduate, every single one of them's played a role. I won't always recognize them because you know how it goes. You go to the shop and someone says, "Hey, Mr. Duffett, how are you doing?" And you think, "Okay, when did I teach you?" "Oh no, 2005, you know, 20 years ago." And they don't look the same, of course. I always tell them I won't recognize you later because they're all these skinny little creatures and now they're fully, you know, grown and look totally different. So I never recognize them, but, you know, it's always nice when that happens. Then in terms of more my personal foundation, so all my friends and family that are here, thank you so much for coming to celebrate this with me. Definitely my beautiful wife, Dr. Joanne Kirby Duffett. She's Dr. Kirby, but Mrs. Duffett, because she finished a medical degree before we were married, before I could convince her to marry me. And then also, I would like to thank Pastor D and Pastor Rob, who I've known for, I'm not quite sure where they sit in, but right at the back, for the last 20 years. They've been my pastors and spent a lot of time praying for us, so thank you so much. And then, obviously, I thank my Lord Jesus Christ, and with him, all things are possible. Now, I just need to give detail why I say all things are possible. If you must know, I was actually born nearly 8 weeks premature, which means that I did everything slow. I had to catch up everything, walk slow, talk slow, and even when I was younger, I was diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and whether I was or not, I don't know, I was hyperactive, that was for sure. And I had to go to language classes, and my friends will still laugh. Stuart will laugh at me there. I still pronounce some words very funny, you know. I went to special classes to try and help, but even now, if I watch my transcripts when I have a Teams class and I look at it, and I say certain words, and this thing types it out differently, so I still have that problem. And at school, my focus was more on sports than school. And, you know, when I left school, I was a packer. I used to work at Macro. I used to pack the shelves, sweep the floors, ring people's things up. So you must know, if I've gone from a packer to a professor, that all things are possible. It certainly wasn't me. Right, so now we actually come to the digital lecturing, some of those digital marketing lectures, some of those items may be a bit small, but I'll put this on ResearchGate and you can download it and you can go and have a look. So what is digital marketing? Well, just to make quite sure I have this definition, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on because we're at that age where we can't see. So what is digital marketing? Basically, it's the use of any online technology or platform to communicate and to create and to deliver value-added marketing communication to a specific target audience. The target audience I mainly focus on is the younger people. Not to say that older people don't use digital marketing, but the people that really have grown up with it are not me. And you'll laugh. I mean, I've only owned a smartphone for about the last 4 or 5 months. I was still using these feature phones. I'm not on WhatsApp because I know thousands and thousands of students. I just don't want to be on my phone all the time. So I never look at the phone, whereas in my class, all the students are on their class, and I never look at the phone unless you SMS me or phone me. The platforms that I investigate, I am on all of them, but under pseudonyms. So I'm not, because again, I know that's going to take the time away from me doing research on them if I'm spending all my time busy looking at Facebook and Instagram. Okay, I am on YouTube quite a bit, TikTok a bit. It's more for the youngsters, but I am on that. And LinkedIn I'm also on. So I am on these platforms, but mainly for research purposes, because that's what I'm interested in and how young people use them. So that's just a bit of background information. Then they also provide I provide a whole lot of examples of how digital marketing differs from traditional media. So it's interactive. So in traditional media, you watch the TV ad. Just put this up a bit. You watch a TV ad and you couldn't interact. But now with Facebook, YouTube, social media, you can leave a comment, you can interact. It's rich media, so it's video, audio, it's text, which it's also in terms of its dynamic. So often we link traditional media with interactive, and it's real-time measurements. So TV ads and radio and billboards, you don't know how well they've done. But with social media and digital media, the response you can measure immediately. It's easy to track actually how successful it was. By the way, this presentation, ChatGPT told me when I put it in, it said, like Shirk did, it said it'll take between 40 and 45 minutes. Me, I don't know, I'm a lecturer, I talk a lot and I like to talk. If my wife was presenting the same, it would be done in 20 minutes because she speaks twice as fast as the normal person. She's a very fast presenter, and but I'm a little bit more long-winded, so please bear with me, and hopefully the slides are entertaining enough. Right, so the shift. Let's just get to the next page. There's been a shift. So this initially it was Mixit, it was BBM. Then later, digital media, and by the way, this is just the background, so the next 10 slides is just setting the scene before I actually get to my research part, which will be integrated with other information. So yeah, initially it was Mixit, BlackBerry, then it focused later on to Facebook and YouTube, and basically, these platforms are reshaping personalities. People could develop an online personality, which may actually be quite different from their personality in reality. It also changed the consumer decision-making process. So now people were actually doing research and looking at products online, not just in the store. In fact, I don't even know, a lot of people don't even go to shops anymore. Just do Checkers 60/60 or whatever the case may be, purchase things online. And that's been happening for years. So this obviously was the catalyst for my research, these different behavioral changes I wanted to investigate, and which was, as mentioned, the focus of my doctoral research. Thank you so much, Prof. Makita. You actually did half the lecture for me already. Right, young consumers. So let's just catch up to where I am. So basically my research question was, how do young consumers respond to research in terms of, and I originally looked at a hierarchy effects model, which I'll get to, but basically there was an increase in influence of peer content, the shift from passive media to active interaction, and obviously there's a rapid growth of social media. I mean, yeah, we'll get to that later. So, as mentioned, my research focused on the hierarchy effects model. I mean, this model was developed, gosh, I think in 1910 was the original model, and then Lavage and Steiner came later in, I think, 1965. And so it's divided into sort of three phases. Awareness and knowledge is what's called your cognitive attitudes. Liking and preference is your affective attitudes, and your behavioral attitudes, intention to purchase. And a lot of people even look at other things like consumer engagement and consumer satisfaction is your behavioral responses. And yeah, so this theory was the focus of my research, and we'll have a look at the results. So the hierarchy effects model can be equated to what's called the purchase funnel. So we have very wide, a lot of people, if you look at Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, become aware of a product or whatever they advertise in, and they gain some knowledge. A lot of people like the ads, so often they put ads on Facebook and YouTube and they go viral, and tens of millions of people see these adverts because they enjoy them, they're entertaining. But the problem is with the purchase funnel is that as you go down, so large awareness, a lot of liking, but people that actually do purchase or want to purchase decreases as you go down this funnel. So this was a traditional model, and I wanted to test it in terms of digital marketing. And yeah, basically the results, initially I tested it on Mixit and Facebook and general social media, and these basically showed those very results was the same for digital media. It decreased in terms of people that actually took action. And that's obviously, you can tell people about something, but you can't force them to buy. So, a lot of people say, oh, advertising forces people to do that. It's not the case. It's making you aware, and it's your decision if you're going to part with your money and not. So, yeah, we get a bad rap, but it's, advertising is entertainment. And social media, by the way, is for free. Doesn't cost you anything. And how are they paying for these platforms that you are getting a lot of entertainment? Through advertising. And if you don't want advertising, like on YouTube, if you don't want advertising, pay for the premium package and you don't get adverts anymore. So that's the balance. Right, South Africans youth, another page down. And before I go to the South African youth, so my research originally started with social media, but as was mentioned in the citation, it has now branched out beyond social media, mobile marketing, and more specifically AI. That is the new kid on the block. So I would say probably nearly half my postgraduate students are now conducting research on various aspects of AI, which is quite exciting. I think there's not a person in the room that hasn't used AI in some way to benefit them. There's some colleagues at CPUT saying CPUT should pay for AI subscriptions because it's, we're more productive. It's making us do our jobs, much easier and much quicker, and we can therefore increase our productivity. That was actually Prof Van Zyl that said that. Just to name, and I don't see that he's here, but yeah. So the South African youth market. So South African, just to give you some stats about the country, is quite a young population, 63 million. The mean age is 28.7. However, nearly 60% of the population are below the ages of 34. So we are a very young country. And of course, these people, especially the young people, their cell phones are their everything. They wake up with their cell phones and they go to bed with their cell phones. So that is huge. And so therefore, young people are obviously essential audience. It's not only young people using these devices, but they use it more so than others. Some of the slides are quite quick and other slides a bit longer. Just to give you a bit about cohort theory. So what is cohort theory? Well, basically people that grew up in different time periods show different attitudes, consumption habits, and media habits. Although within cohorts, there's still heterogeneity. In other words, just because you're Gen Z doesn't mean you're the same as the other person Gen Z, because factors like language, culture, geographic location, first world, third world countries, you're not going to be the same, but they give a general trend. So I really like this infographic, how they broke up the different cohorts. You start off with your silent generation, born between 1928 and 1945. So both my parents are actually in that silent generation. And their motto was, kids should be seen but not heard. So some of us grew up in that. Then you get your baby boomers. So this is just after the World War II. Why it was called baby boomers. The Earth's population got decimated in World War II, so everyone said, let's have babies. So they called the baby boomers. So a lot of these may also be people's parents, similar to the silent generation, but they're sort of characterized as trying to give their children the best they possibly could. And then we have Gen X. I actually fall in that category, 1965 to 1980, the children of the baby boomers. I don't know, we were the 80s kids, and, you know, yeah, I don't know how to describe us. 80s and early 80s and 70s kids, I don't know, we're a good generation. Gen Z are the new kids. Okay, we don't understand them. You know, my friends' children, and yeah, they also just different. Our students are different as well, and we have to do the best to understand them. I don't know, they're quite easygoing, and they're very hairy casual about things. You know, you getting excited and saying, this assignment's due tomorrow, and they're like, oh, okay, whatever. It's just they're not excited, you know, it's like, really? And then the newest generations, Generation Alpha, born from 2013, we don't know too much about them yet. But what is important is spending power, and that's why I'm mentioning them, is Generation X still has the greatest spending power by a bit. Generation Y will overtake them in the next 2 years in terms of world spending power. But in the next 10 years, these people, these Gen Zs, will actually, their purchasing power will double and become the leading group. So hence my focus on Gen Y, Gen Z, because of the huge spending power, and because they the most, you know, use digital marketing to the greatest degree. Right, is this microphone okay, Kathy? Yeah. Must I go a bit back? Is that better? Okay. Yeah. I'm not used to, you can ask Pastor Rob and Dee in church, if I have to go up and pray, then I say, don't give me the microphone. But this venue is, yeah, maybe a bit too big to shout. It's fine, you can hear, because I keep echoing. Thank you so much. Right, so the rise of Gen Y and Gen Z. So as you mentioned, high smartphone usage. They like visuals, they don't like words. They have high digital brand engagement, so they will post comments on Facebook, YouTube. Although it's quite funny, I find, like when you have your own channels, Antondili will tell you, there's a lot of haters, you know, you put content and people post all these negative comments. I don't know why. Some people are positive. I don't think it's the Gen Zs, but it's other people. I also post some content on YouTube, and they, you know, you get these people saying, why are you bothering? Is that all that's going to make you happy? Anyway, being negative, and I'm not a negative, I'm a glass half full person, so I'm always positive. You know, so yeah, my dad's a bit of a pessimist, so whenever he said something, I would always say something positive straight afterwards. I'd never say there's power in what you speak, so what you speak comes to be, so we need to be positive. And so digital platforms are obviously play a central role in their consumer decision-making process. So when they want to do research on products, where do they go? Digital media. Check what reviews, what Facebook reviews, what, you know, Google reviews are there. And I do this as well. When I want to do business with a company, I go and have a look and see what are people saying, positive, negative, about the product. So the state of global commerce. So, yeah, the world's population is estimated at 8.25 million, probably ticking up as we speak. Of that world population, 73% have access to the internet. And most of that access is actually via cell phones. So so it's quite big. So that's 6 billion internet users. 68.9% are on some or other social media platform. 5.78 million are mobile subscribers, in other words, with internet access as well. So now digital media dominates advertising spend. We go back 20 years ago, and it was TV dominating internet spend. Now it's 862 billion a year is spent on digital marketing, and it accounts for 74%, because that's where people are becoming. I just wonder what happened if electricity would disappear, what people would do. would they know what to do with all this? Yeah. Right. South Africans' digital boom. Well, firstly, South Africa, let's just go to the next slide. Nearly 80% of South Africa have internet access. So these figures refer 195% of the population, or 124 million mobile subscribers. So that means in South Africa, we've got a population of 63 million. People have at least 2 mobile devices each, that they're all SIM cards. So we are mobile, and this rate is, in terms of the world, we're the 3rd highest in the world. We have the 3rd highest mobile access in the world. 98% of people actually access social media and digital media via their cell phones. I have students doing full assessments on their cell phones. I don't know how they do it because I just can't handle that little screen. But people do a lot. A cell phone has become the computer for most people. Right, just why do people access the internet in South Africa? Well, 60% use it for information. Communication, also almost 60%. Over half watch videos, and not on the slide here, another half actually use it for the news. At least 55% to half of us make online purchases, and that number's just increasing every single day. However, over half are worried about the information or the misuse of their information online, because there's internet fraud and all types of schemes and scams, and it's not a day that goes by that we aren't exposed to these elements. So there are negative elements. Social media marketing in South Africa. So what, I just skipped the slide here. Okay, yes. Social media marketing in South Africa. So what is it? Well, so the social aspect is the actual social relationships that we are building. The media aspects are the different platforms, so the websites, blogs, instant messaging. And together, these aspects help us form relationships with each other over these platforms, and that's where your Facebooks, your YouTubes, your Mixits come into about. And yeah, just other benefits: massive global reach, high global potential, and easy to measure. We've kind of measured these already. The state of South African, the state of marketing in South Africa. So South Africa actually spends quite a bit of money as well. So I just need to catch up to myself. I'm missing a slide. There we go. Gone too far. So in South Africa, we spend 277 billion, or that's the global investment, which is quite a bit. So it represents, of all digital global spend, it represents 32%. So social media is massive. South Africa, 28.2% of digital budgets are allocated to social media. The big social media platforms that are used in South Africa are LinkedIn and Facebook. You can see 85 and 83%. Instagram, 73%, not on the slide. YouTube, 63%. TikTok's only 47%, but that is going to increase majorly. Definitely. And then what else can I say? Yeah, major results for return on brands. 93% reported brand awareness from social media, 53% increased brand loyalty, and 50% better budgets. And 57% of large organizations actually have formal social media plans. So, yeah. So South Africa has the 5th highest social media usage at 97.7% of internet users. So remember, only 80% use internet, but 99% of people, basically everyone who uses the internet, is also on social media. That's the 5th highest in the world. What do South Africans platforms use? 93% on WhatsApp. Okay, I'm not one of them. 80% Facebook, 82% YouTube, but not on the slide. TikTok, 80% watch TikTok videos. And now you can see that large organizations are only spending 47%. So that is still going to grow. And then obviously there's massive market potential for people to use it. And yeah, because 64% of South Africans actually look at brands on social media. So some more stats. Right, now we're actually going to get into my research. That was just setting the scene and the background. So now we'll give you background about a platform, and then I'll talk about what research I've done. So hopefully you're still with it. You can just stretch, and we are halfway through. So Mixit used to actually be the largest South African platform, and that's why I did research on it. It was founded in 2005, low-cost text and messaging app. So people used to, all my students used to be on Mixit. 50 million global users at its peak. 10 million people in South Africa use this platform. But it ceased to function in 2016. It had a change of management, and they didn't move with the times. So, and there were a lot of new devices, so it ceased to function. But the truth of the matter is it actually relaunched again in 2025. Would you believe it? If you go and search and you want a blast from the past, you can go and sign up to Mixit again. My research, the behavioral response gap, again found the purchase funnel. I published 4 articles on it before Mixit disappeared. Yet, funny, those articles are still being downloaded a lot, especially from the Philippines. I don't know, if I look at ResearchGate, every single week there's hundreds of reads from the Philippines on my Mixit articles. So, I don't know, So the decline in purchase funnel, large awareness, the advertising, but low purchases. Then WhatsApp, as I say, probably I'm the only person in this room not on WhatsApp, but it's massive as well. Founded in 2009, 3 billion global users, just about every second person on the earth uses it. Enables text, voice, video messages. South Africa, 34.3 million users, 93% penetration rate of internet users. So 93% of people who have internet access it. Organizations use this, as you can see, for communication, tracking, engagement, real-time support, and e-commerce. So if we want to order fish and chips from our local fish and chip shop, my wife goes on WhatsApp, and she just types in her order, and then we go there and we pick it up. So a lot of small businesses are using WhatsApp as a platform. What research have we conducted? I had a master's student that conducted research amongst Gen Z on the use of emojis in WhatsApp marketing communication. And yeah, this found the models we mainly looked at was the TAM model, the technology acceptance model, and we found positive perceived ease of use, usefulness, brand engagement, and buying intent as a result of emojis in your marketing communication. So use emojis. And since she did this study, you'll see in my email, I've always used emoji. Because it actually, and I actually also like receiving messages with emoji. Even when I speak to my friends from Northwest or whatever and reply, and there's just emojis also always flying. And then I've got another student looking at human voice versus conversational voice. He's still busy with the study. But again, if you use a human voice, so just casual, how's it, machomi, or formal organization type voice, does that differ in messages? And well, we actually didn't find so many differences, but that had a positive impact on various scales like social presence, trust, and purchase intention. Obviously, there's a context to use social and corporate tone of voice. So that research is ongoing. We've actually got the findings. He just needs to write everything up and finish. I think he's listening online, so. All right. But in the meeting on Saturday, he says, yes, I know, I've got to finish, and he will finish. It's an excellent study, and he's an excellent student, just that he's so busy at work. Then we come to Facebook, which is the largest social media. It's now Meta, 3.1 billion users. In South Africa, it's still very big, probably more in your older, Gen Z population. There's also Facebook Messenger, which is a separate messaging platform. Yeah, and it offers many different advertising formats and detailed analytics. So Facebook knows everything about you. It's like Big Brother And that's what gets it into trouble. There's a lot of criticism, and you'll see in the bottom corner there, a lot of criticism about Facebook because it's too good. It tracks and monitors all your details. And so, yeah, it really allows people then to target because they have your demographics, psychographics. They know when you engage and look at something, they know. And so they can really give targeted adverts. But my research again found, you'll see, this awareness decrease through to purchase. Yeah, we become aware of things. It does not mean we're going to purchase. And I published probably about 4 articles on this, and they are well received. YouTube, this is my favorite social media platform. Also massive, 2.58 billion users. In South Africa, 30.6 million users. Massive influencers. So for those of you who don't know what influencers are, a lot of people create a channel and we follow them because we like their content. So I follow a lot of fishing channels because I like fishing. So I probably follow in about 20 people, and those people are influencers to me, what tackle they're using, what they're using, and other people then pay them often to say, okay, just mention this brand. And because you've got a big following, you think, oh, because this online celebrity is using it, I should use it as well. And that's what influencer marketing is, using people who have big followings, or don't have to have big followings, to influence the people that watch them. The biggest influencer in the world is someone called Mr. Beast. If you haven't heard of him, you can just go and look at him on YouTube. With 465 million followers, he's got another 125 million followers on Instagram. So 10% of the world is basically following this person. I mean, that's massive. So you can imagine if he mentions a specific brand, that, you know, his fee would be millions and millions and millions. People would have to pay him probably like $10 million just to mention their brand, because he has such a wide reach, and that's one of the words I always pronounce funny, reach. Whenever I say rich, it's spelling it R-I-C-H instead of reach. I have to pronounce it like that before Tam actually spells it correctly. So massive followings. Just in terms of the research that we conducted in YouTube, it was mainly, again, I did a lot of research with the Romanians, and we looked at this whole hierarchy effects model, and again, it was the same, declining from awareness through to purchase, it declined. That was our research. Also offers a lot of advertising formats, and can also track your information quite accurately as well. Just like all of these platforms can track what you're doing very, very well to provide marketers with detailed analytics to target you better. TikTok is the new social media platform on the block. Only founded in 2017, so it's not even 10 years old, and it's already got 20 billion users. It's pretty much like YouTube, just short format, people recording a lot of their videos on their cell phones, very short little adverts. They are much more cost effective if you want to advertise on them. They're much cheaper than YouTube and Facebook. The research that we're currently doing, again, we did research on emojis. I still need to write this article up. I haven't had a chance to write it up. But again, we looked at emojis and TikTok, and again, we found positive purchase intention, perceived ease of use, usefulness. I've also got another student doing research this year on TikTok advertising, but the research is still very new. Just in terms of the different categories of influencers, you can see you've got what's called a nano influencer. So people with as little as 1,000 followers are still influencers, and companies are now starting to look at these nano and micro with 10,000 to 100,000 followers, because they have a closer relationship to the audience if you've got 1,000 followers compared to someone who has 469 million. And then you get your macro influencers, and your mega influencers are people with over 1 million. So that's just some information. Then Instagram is, a lot of you like Instagram. I know my wife likes Instagram. Over 2 billion global users, 26 million in South Africa. A platform for placing your videos and pictures predominantly. Also have very good influencer partnerships. They have Instagram stories, Instagram shopping, real advertising on the popular formats. And then again, I had studies, one study looking at Instagram advertising. We found positive entertainment, informativeness, credibility, and ease of use. And we also had someone looking at Gen Z influencers. We actually got his article published last year, and it's doing very well, which found positive trust, expertise, and trustworthiness. Okay, I think, yeah, not too far to go. LinkedIn, connecting, LinkedIn, a lot of us, for the professional community, companies often put their profiles there. And for young professionals, all of our students place their profiles on LinkedIn. 1.3 billion users, nearly 20 million South African users. And yeah, it's good for creating professional relationships in terms of exchange and employment, and good for strategic organizational growth. I've got a student conducting research, and it's quite a complicated topic. Let's just get to it. Which it took me a while to understand, but he's considering tertiary education institutional students, social media, specifically LinkedIn engagement, in developing future marketing education via bridging social capital. So in other words, in plain words, through your relationships with other people, how is this influencing various attitudes? That's what he's looking at. Through who you connected with on social media, what influence do they have on the attitudes he's looking at? And there's a whole host of them which I'm not going to go through. And then X, or Twitter, platform is slowly dying. The latest stats was 558 million, but X, or Twitter as it was known, is actually no longer giving their usage stats. And I think that's because it is declined. So in reality, I don't think it's 558 million. South Africa, they say 18.2 million. I don't think it's at that anymore. Advantages, real-time engagement. So as news happens, you could get it. You can use promoted tweets where you pay them to highlight your tweets to get to the top of the list, but there's major decline on this. And then I did one study with the Indians in India, and we found fairly positive behavioral characteristics back then, but that study was probably about 7-8 years ago. Okay, we're into the last couple of slides. I know it's been quite long and a lot to listen to, but hopefully these slides keep you entertained. Mobile marketing, m-commerce was worth 2.5 trillion in 2025, so a lot of people are doing business through smartphones. Internet usage ownership globally is 97.4%. In South Africa, it's 99.3%. And as we know, everyone has 2 phones. 80% of people with a smartphone engage in social media in South Africa. And yes, so mobile strategies, it's location-based. So even when you walk past a shop and you connected to it, it can send you some push notification. Gaming ads, SMS or text ads, augmented reality is also becoming big on smartphones. And my students' research, he's sitting here, Antandile, looked at mobile apps and customer satisfaction. And yeah, he found positive trust, ease of use, and customer satisfaction over mobile apps. And then search engine marketing. So Google dominates with 90% of the market. People use Google to search. 80% of internet users use search engines. 94% of South Africa use search engines. That's the 4th highest in the world. And yeah, then we also look at other factors. So you get search engine marketing, which uses a PPC model. So the more people click on an ad, the more money Google gets. So that's how they charge. And in the old days, though, what competitors used to do is, because you pay Google to list your company and to get high up in the page, because if your page is in the top 3, there's more of a chance someone clicking. And how the pay-per-click model works is you pay Google a certain amount of money, you bid, and then your company gets listed to the top. But in the past, competitors used to come and just click, 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 and run down your budget. So now there's different ways to overcome that. search engine organic marketing is where you design your website in a certain way so that when people search for your product, it lands up at the top, and you didn't pay Google to place it there. So that's just some difference. I had a student that, he's not here, JD, that looked at Google shopping ads, and again, he found positive relationships between trust and purchase, and product risk did not necessarily, so the time risk and the other one was a product risk, did not decrease people's customer satisfaction, because we know, we're more trusting of these platforms. Okay, we getting to the tail end, so now we're getting into AI, the AI landscape. So just to tell you that the largest platform in terms of AI is ChatGPT. Probably everyone's had a look at it now. They said 489 million web users and 557 mobile users. Gemini follows, DeepSeek, and then you have others such as Perplexity and Grok. But I think these figures are changing on a daily basis. I think these figures were the most recent I could find, but they probably double already because it's really just becoming a massive platform. And then now let's just look at AI marketing and how this has changed. So, or just some more background about it. We have something called a natural language product, or NLP. So now computers can understand voice, they can understand us. Often we phone a company and we're talking to someone, and we're talking away and we're saying this and that. And it's only like 3-4 minutes later that you realize you're actually not speaking to a person. You're speaking to a virtual assistant or some type of chatbot, but it's a virtual assistant. So that's what it does. It actually recognizes voice. Machine learning, so now machines learn from us. You put in things in ChatGPT, they're collecting this information. You put in your information, it can enhance your advertising targets, predict the consumer behavior. And then also you get large language models, which again collect data to give us consumer insights. Just the advantages of it, boosting productivity. So, we're doing things with AI that make things very, very quick to do. Institutional, hyper-personalization as well. So again, adverts, branded messages can be also very useful, and strategic innovation. And then just some, I think we're on the second last slide now. Or no, three more slides. Just what are we using AI for? AI, augmented and virtual reality. So now you want to buy something online, you can try it on yourself online and see what you look like. Intelligent chatbots and virtual assistants. So, you sit and you ask ChatGPT questions and it gives you all, the answers. AI recommendation systems, you're online and suddenly these products that you are interested in pop up. How are they known that you're interested in this? They are assessing everything you've done online. AI-driven content, so now like these slides, you put in your text and there your picture comes. Or you put in your content, there your video comes. So it's shortening these processes, and generative engine optimization. Instead of searching on Google now, we're searching on ChatGPT and saying, I'm interested in this product. It doesn't look at keywords. It actually, goes deeper than that and gives you options that Google won't give you. So those are just some of the tools we're using. So this slide is the power of digital marketing. So I've taken this specifically from students that looked at research on small businesses and also non-profit organizations. And I see Jose is here as well. He's also part of this research. So what is the power? How does it help us? It's stronger branding building, enhanced communications, information sharing, improved customer and donor and community relationships, information sharing. It's cost effective, it increases sales, sponsorship, and it supports organizational goals and growth are some of the aspects that it helps small businesses with. Of course, there's always negatives. So the problem is a lot of small businesses just don't have the budget and the expertise to actually use social media. Also, time and content pressures. So they're busy running their businesses. Where do you get time to post on social media? It takes a lot of time, and you need to post regularly. You can't post once a year. You've got to post every week. Strategic planning deficit, so it's not part of a lot of small businesses' goals. Also platform visibility. So platforms continually change, and also there's reputational risk. People come up with fake websites or give negative comments, which does more damage because some people focus on the negative. And then just in summary, my 15-year journey. So it started off with social media and Mixit. It then moved to other social media platforms and digital marketing platforms such as mobile. And now it's shifted to AI and GEO and recommendation systems and chatbots and virtual assistants. And yeah, it's just important for marketers and researchers to understand these different platforms. And just a concluding statement, our advancement is shaped by the students who challenge us, the colleagues who support us, the communities who place their trust in us, and the technologies that continue to evolve. And there I had some more fun with that. I don't know how long that was. Thank you very much. And I'm not sure if it goes to Peter or straight away.
Thank you, Prof. Duffett, for such an informative and interesting presentation on digital marketing. I'm going to be reading the citations for the defendant, who is Dr. Peter Steenkamp. Dr. Steenkamp is an academic in the Department of Marketing at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology and holds a PhD from Stellenbosch University Business School. Dr. Steenkamp teaches at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels and has received multiple teaching excellence awards, including the 2024 CPUT International Teaching Excellence Award and the second place in the 2025 Institutional E-Learning Excellence Awards. His main research interest is in brand management. His research has been published in leading international journals, including the Journal of Brand Management and the Journal of Retailing and Services. He supervises master's and doctoral students. He is the developer of the Serve Brand and other dog brand management frameworks, a co-author of 2 academic books in brand and marketing management, and a co-founder of a brand and digital research hub at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. He is a pragmatemic whose work bridges rigorous scholarship and real-world experience.
Thank you for the introduction, Prof. Makita. Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, and I think today, most importantly, friends and family of Professor Rodney Duffett. It is indeed a privilege and a joy to respond to Professor Duffett's professorial address. And I would like to acknowledge his outstanding scholarly presentations entitled Navigating the Digital Marketing Landscape. We've been working together for about 19 years now. And it shows in my hair, but it hasn't done much to he. Some people just have it all. What we experienced this morning was a moment of intellectual consolidation, a moment when a scholar stepped forward, not only to share what he has studied, but also what he has come to understand about his discipline and his contribution to it. I saw firsthand what he put into this endeavor, and I remember well when he said, probably more than 10 years ago, from now on I have a mono focus, and it worked for you. What he shared with us is the culmination of more than a decade's laser-focused dedication, and it makes a difference. What we are honoring is a cohort and an evolving intellectual project that at times may seem very complex. A project that has unfolded alongside and in response to one of the most significant transformations in marketing, and that is digital marketing. One of the things that is evident is that you can never get bored in this ever-changing marketing environment. And I think it is due to it being part art and part science. And also that marketing is probably the field, as you've seen, to be impacted first by these new technologies. I believe that technology should not be an end in itself, but rather an enabler. And Professor Duffett's lecture made this clear this morning. Professor Duffett's career has not only produced knowledge in his field, with a significant body of knowledge that we've seen, he also embodies CPUT's positioning slogan of creating futures. He has built capacity, created opportunities, and shaped futures for students through his teaching and his supervision, for colleagues as a Sesonke supervision mentor, for example, and for the broader community, as we've heard from Professor Makita. Professor Duffett's address engaged a simple yet profoundly important question, and it is, how do consumers, particularly young consumers, respond to the digital marketing communication? This question did not emerge, as we've heard, from an abstract theory, but from careful consideration and observation in the real world, from watching his students engage with technology. He recognized that these platforms were not just new channels, but rather environments reshaping communication. From that starting point, about, 15 years ago, his work traced a longitudinal journey from early social media adoption, from Mixit to BlackBerry Messenger, Facebook, YouTube, and others, to mobile-first marketing environments, and now, of course, artificial intelligence. Yet, across all this change, Professor Duffett showed us that there is something deeply important, a constant. The constant is that the structure of how consumers respond remains the same. He referred to the funnel over and over, from awareness through knowledge, liking, preference, purchase intention, and ultimately purchase. This finding repeated across platforms, across generations, and across countries is not just an empirical result, it is a theoretical anchor. Because in a field that is often celebrated for what is called disruption, and you must be a disruptor, this work reminds us that there are underlying structures that persist, that human response does not change as quickly as technology does. I, like Professor Duffett, am from the Gen Z cohort. Sometimes I think it stands for the cohort that will be expiring soon. But Professor Duffett has been reporting important insights about the generations that came after us, Gen Y and Gen Z, or Gen Z as we say in South Africa. As he mentioned, the future biggest spenders. He shared the internet and mobile penetration rates size of these cohorts, what they use the internet for, and much more in his beautifully designed slides. So when we step back and consider this work in a broader context, it is significant to notice that at a disciplinary level, this work bridges classical advertising theory and contemporary digital practice. It takes a foundational model, the hierarchy of needs model, and demonstrates its continued relevance today. Never is it a rejection of change. It is a way of making sense of change. At a South African level, this work, as we've heard, is firmly rooted in a context defined by a young population and high mobile penetration rates. Through comparative studies and international collaboration, this work spreads beyond South Africa. It positions local insight within the global conversation. At the technological level, we saw its address trace the evolution, as I've mentioned, from social media to mobile to search, and ultimately where we are now, the new frontier, artificial intelligence. But what is striking is the framing of AI, not as a disruption, but as an acceleration of personalization, of prediction, of content creation, of consumer experiences. At an institutional level, this body of work extends far beyond research. It is reflected in teaching excellence, and as we all know, excellent teaching is research-informed. It is reflected in industry partnerships. It is reflected in community impact and the development of postgraduate scholarships. This is not only knowledge creation that we witness today. It is academic leadership. So let me give you a glimpse into the professor behind the productivity. And I mean, this cannot top Kathy from packer to professor. What a headline. And for this, to give you a glimpse, I need to go back to my primary schooling, and I know it's long ago. It's just after Jan van Riebeeck landed in Cape Town. But for my entire primary schooling, every Monday morning at the end of our assembly session, we had to get up and recite a quote to the left of the stage on a huge wooden scroll. And it read, "Always do more than what is expected of you, the more the greater success." Now, Professor Duffett and I did not attend the same school, but when the rest of us publish 1 or 2 articles a year, he publishes 5. When we supervise 5 students, he supervises 15. He always does more than what is expected of him. Much, much more. For colleagues, for students, and for the institution. Also, observing Professor Duffett over the many years, I agree with Jim Rowan when he said that energy is the currency of achievement. And he's got plenty of that. My colleagues would agree that no one is more willing to help and to share freely than Professor Duffett. Not so? Professor Duffett's career reflects not only sustained scholarly output, but a deep and enduring commitment to teaching and the development of others within and beyond CPUT. As we have experienced this morning, he has a knack to simplify and structure vast amounts of dense information in a way that anyone can understand. What then do we ultimately take from his address? Well, we recognize a scholar who has engaged deeply with the field in motion, who has not simply followed trends, but has interrogated it. we recognize that while technologies evolve, the task of understanding people remains at the heart of marketing. Professor Duffett's scholarship is timely and very valuable. He is a leading scholar in digital marketing and has moved CPUT through the Brandon Digital Research Hub to the center of this discussion in South Africa and abroad. If there is one forward-looking insight from Professor Duffett's research, it is this: the future of digital marketing will not be defined by technology alone, but by how deeply we understand the people who use it. I hope that we will leave here today somewhat less anxious, with the knowledge that even though social media and AI seems overwhelming at times, there is a constant. Human beings can't evolve overnight. There is a constant in how we function and interact with new channels and tools. We just need a Professor Duffett to look below the surface to recognize this and share it with us. I don't think that I have to say much more about Professor Duffett's academic standing. So let me conclude with this. Like the digital marketing field, as a university, we cannot stagnate. We have to continuously innovate and try to stay up to date. Why? So that we can help our students to hit the ground running at the pace at which the world is moving. Professor Duffett, your address stands as a testimony to your scholarship, to your leadership, your contribution, your legacy, and your humanity. It has been inspirational to witness your progress over almost 2 decades to reach the top step today as a full professor. Your work has shaped the field, and I have no doubt that you will continue contributing selflessly and energetically. So on behalf of the Marketing Department, the Faculty of Business and Management Sciences, CPUT at large, congratulations, Professor Rodney Duffett, on this significant milestone. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Steenkamp, for your perfectly pitched and very insightful response to the presentation of Professor Duffett today. Your contribution also added a great depth to the discussion, and it is truly appreciated. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, we have come to almost the end of today's proceedings, the formal proceedings. I'm going to call on Professor Balkaran, and he will do the acknowledgement and the closure for us today. As you know, Professor Balkaran is the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Learning and Teaching. As Professor Balkaran makes his way, I would also like to say the last time I checked the online presence, that was about 15 minutes ago, it was 157 people watching online. Wonderful. Yeah, so over to you, Prof. Balkaran.
Thank you very much, Program Director Kathy Clutie. Speaking about the hierarchy of needs, I see that it's featured now 3 times. And of course, speaking about advertising, Professor Duffett, I've seen an advert. So it was about the hierarchy of needs. It had a nice, lovely triangle, and at the base, it speaks to the basic needs, etc. And then as it progressed, through the hierarchy, on the top was a can of Castle Lager. I thought it was a really good advert. Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, CPUT, It is my privilege to deliver the acknowledgments on this auspicious occasion, the Professorial inauguration of Professor Rodney Duffett. We extend our sincere appreciation to Professor Chris Ntlapo, our Vice Chancellor, for officially welcoming us and setting the tone for this event. Let's give a round of applause to our Vice Chancellor, please. Thank you. Our gratitude is extended to Professor Mercy Makita, our Dean of the Faculty of Business and Management Sciences, for the insightful citation for introducing the responder as well. We also thank Dr. Peter Steenkamp for his thoughtful and engaging response to the inaugural address. Most importantly, we commend Professor Duffett for an outstanding inaugural lecture navigating the digital marketing landscape, which has enriched us all and reflects the depth of scholarship within our institution. We warmly acknowledge all our distinguished guests present here today, and especially the family members of Professor Duffett. Your unwavering support has been central to his achievement. To our CPUT staff members, master's and doctoral students, alumni, and retired staff, thank you for being part of this significant academic milestone. This event indeed is an indication, Vice Chancellor, that the academic project is working. We also extend our appreciation to our external and international guests joining us online. Our special word of thanks goes to the Marketing and Communications Department for their excellent organizing of this event, including facilitating the live streaming for our broader audience. Finally, we congratulate Professor Duffett on this well-deserved recognition and contribution to the faculty and to the university. Thank you. Bye, Danki. Nkosi Siyabulela.
Thank you very much, Prof. Balkran. We have reached the end of the formal proceedings of today. There are some refreshments outside, so please enjoy that. We also would like to do some photos with Professor Duffett. We will use the area at the back. We also have outside, but our photographer will be at the back, so please, if you can just stay or have something to eat, come back. Unfortunately, Prof. Duffett, you will have to stay there the whole time because you're the main man for today. So Professor Duffett will be there, then you can just come in. We also have Professor Duffett's inaugural booklet. Busi, do you have one? We also have the inaugural booklet of Professor Duffett outside, so please make sure that you get a copy before you leave. This is his gift to all of you, so please make sure to have a copy for you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here early morning. Luckily, traffic wasn't too bad because it's school holidays, so thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you. Thank you.